And just like that, we're live. Yes, we're live. Guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to MMA Fight Pass. This is the HAMMERFIST podcast. What episode are we on now, Arch?
We're on episode 84 and virtual 15.
So this is our 84th podcast, guys, which if you know anything about podcasts, we're still pretty new at this. And we're growing, but we're not giving up. That's the important thing. Just like with jiu-jitsu and martial arts, when you started, it can be tough, but you don't give up and you keep growing and you keep growing and you learn more and more with each time. So today, guys, I'm really excited to be here with Archie Tovar. You guys know Archie right now. He's been with me the whole time. He's the producer of the podcast, and he's one of the guys that got me going on this. And our guest today, guys, is a very special guest of mine. I met Mr. Roberto Gordo Correa. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, my complete name is Roberto Correa de Lima. I have Lima in the end. But
Roberto Correa Lima?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
all right.
Say Gordo, Roberto Gordo Correa.
Okay, so Gordo, most people that know jiu-jitsu, that know about the history of jiu-jitsu and old school Gracie Barra jiu-jitsu, they know you as Gordo. What does Gordo stand for, my brother?
Yeah, Gordo means fat. I mean, when I was born as a little baby, like let's say before 1 or 2 years old, I was very chubby, Then this is my family nickname. A lot of people in my family, my old brother, they call me as a Gordo, and
it stuck with you?
Yeah, everybody.
All right.
Now it's more. People say more Gordo than Roberto.
Yeah, they know you. That's how I know you from. And and you got one of the best haircuts out there, just like mine. We got the long, the handsome haircut. Well, guys, this is special to me. If you guys are new at jiu-jitsu and you don't know anything about the history of jiu-jitsu, I would recommend that all of you guys, after the show or later on, take the time to go back and do some history, guys, because the guests that me and Archie have been bringing onto the show, they're all very special. Every one of our guests has a special part in the history of jiu-jitsu. Just like Chingina, Crosley Gracie, Batata, all these different guys that we're bringing, we bring them on for a reason, guys, because everybody's that starts jiu-jitsu now. You're in the new stage of jiu-jitsu, and maybe you don't know about the history of jiu-jitsu. All these guys that we're bringing onto the show, they play an important part. So I'm really honored to have you come on, bro. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Before we start, guys, I want to, just like I do with every show, I want to explain to you how I myself met Gordo and the reason why I brought him onto the show. So years back, guys, as I talk about a lot, the IBJJF World Championships, if you wanted to compete in the World Championships, you had to travel to Brazil, to Rio de Janeiro to do this. Now you can do it here in the United States. But back in the day, we had to go to Brazil if we wanted to do this. And at that time, me and my partner, Luis Speedy Gonzalez, he's a black belt under Chingina. A lot of you local guys know Luis Gonzalez. Me and Luis would travel around to the different Gracie academies like Half Gracie and Crosley Gracie, and we met Chingina. And we would just travel around to the Machado schools, and we were just trying to learn jiu-jitsu from some of the old school guys. So what happened is me and Luis decided that we wanted to go to Brazil, and we both were blue belts. We wanted to try to compete in the World Championships. So Chingina sent us to Brazil to stay at his mom's house, which was around the corner from the Gracie Barra Academy. And that's where I met Roberto here. And way back then, I didn't know who Roberto was. I didn't know who Gordo was. I knew who like some of the guys like Feitosa, Pere Pano, and some of these guys. I did know who they were, but I didn't know who Gordo was. But my teacher Chingina somehow got in contact with Gordo, and he had Gordo bring myself and Luis around a train, and he showed us around Brazil in the town that we were in, and showed us around, and just just treated us as really good guests. So Gordo, do you remember me from back then?
Yep. I mean, I remember you, but after that, I have more contact with Luis. I met Luis many times after that time, but I still remember. Like, I mean, when you called me the first time, I really didn't know exactly who you are. But then I asked Batata, and Batata told me, he's the guy who went to Brazil. Well, I said, okay, I know who he is.
All right, man. Yeah, and Batata, thank you, Batata.
This is what, like 10 years ago?
Yeah, 12 years ago, I believe. I think it was 12 years ago.
Yeah, a long time.
So it was one of the last times that they had the World Championships in Brazil. And
yeah, I think now it's 11 years here in America. I think I'm not sure.
Okay, so yeah, it was about 11 years ago. And man, that trip to me, that was one of my favorite vacations I ever took. Even though it was myself going over to Brazil to compete and to fight in that tournament, it was one of the times of my life right there that I always remember. And everybody at the Gracie Barra Academy, you guys welcomed me into the school. I was afraid, man, when I was going to take this trip to Brazil. I didn't know what to think, man. Here I am, a white guy, an American, going to Brazil, and I don't know how these guys are going to treat me and what's going to happen. And then I'm going to compete in this tournament. But man, when I went into the school, Carlos Gracie Jr., I believe, was there.
Yeah.
And everybody welcomed me in. They welcomed me and Luis both in like family. Yeah. And especially when they heard that that we were students of Chinguina.
Yeah, that's why you're well recommended. Then it's easy, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I just thank you, man. So when we went to Brazil, it was really, I learned so much. And just yesterday, I found my notebook, because when I go to new schools, I have a notebook and I take notes of every single thing that I learn. I even have the notes that I learned from you, from the half guard. Nice. And yeah, it's really something special. Actually, tomorrow, me and Archie are going to take the notebook and we're going to videotape and we're going to go through the notebook and I'm going to show him the things I learned from you and some of the things I learned from Fetosa and Perepano, some sweeps and other variations. But after that, when we left Brazil, how long were you in Brazil before you moved to the United States?
Man, I left Brazil in 2015, but I went to Abu Dhabi. Then I lived there for 2 years.
Arabia?
About 2 years and 2 months. Then I lived there from 2015 to 2017. And I came to Florida 2017, October 2017. Then I'm here now for 2 years and a half.
So you're in Florida. How do you like it over there?
It's good. I like the weather. It's good. The city where I live in Weston. It's a very like family city, you know, good schools, and I think it's a good place to live and to build the academy, you know, family, kids, everything.
You know, Gordo, Tom has a ton of questions, but you mentioned that you lived in Abu Dhabi for 2 years. What was your experience like there, and your role or your function for 2 years out there?
My experience was good. I mean, in the beginning, I was thought it would be tough, like the culture, you know, everything is different. But they are very welcome, and I have a very good, me and my family. It was me, my wife, and my son. He was 18. My daughter, she was in Canada, and she's still there. But me and my family have a good time there. I've been as a head coach from the national team. Let's say they brought me there to building a competition team. And you know, to try to improve them, and also to be a head coach, because they have more than 700 Brazilian coaches over there teaching jiu-jitsu. Then they try to put a standard, you know, like the standard way to teach. Everybody teaching the same way, something like that, you know. And I tried to do that for 2 years. Not easy, you know, like a lot of politicians, you know, people come from different schools, from different countries, from different states, but they're getting better. they're getting better.
Wow.
That's awesome. So when you were in Brazil, Gordo, a lot of people want to know, how old were you when you first started jiu-jitsu? And was jiu-jitsu the first martial art for you?
Yeah, I start first martial art was jiu-jitsu. I was 15 when I started. As
15 years old?
I'm start because I'm a very close and very good friend of Half Gracie. We are always together since 8 years old, you know, since school. We always hanging out together. But where we live in Barra da Tijuca didn't have any jiu-jitsu before this, like 1984. And I remember that Ralph and Hans and Ryan, they always travel, no, but they always drive to Copacabana. It's like 1 hour away. They never tried jiu-jitsu before. I just heard about jiu-jitsu, judo, capoeira, but I really never did any martial art before.
Did you surf? Were you a surfer?
Yeah, I surf. I still surfing. Like my main sport before jiu-jitsu was surf. I play soccer, volleyball, basketball, but just for fun. But I like to surf. I did compete a little bit in surf, not that good, but I did, and it is still my favorite, one of my favorite sports.
Oh yeah. So over there in Florida, are the waves are they as good as Brazil?
Not really.
No, not the
Here,
same.
like, it's really the biggest part of the year is we don't have waves. When like the hurricane season come, they will have like sometimes, but sometimes a lot of wind. But the good thing to surf here is because it's very close to Central America, where we have a good waves, like El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica. They're all good waves over there, you know. And here too, I did get like in 2 years, I get like 5 days of good surf here. I also do kite surfing too, and for kite here is a little bit better because a lot of wind, and it's good for kite surf.
Wow, I bet. I do a lot of snowboarding, but I've never surfed, even though it looks like a lot of fun.
I tried snowboarding one time, but I think my professor wasn't that good. You know, I got some lesson with Half Gracie, and I wasn't that good. And I felt a lot, and it was before my knee surgery. Then my knee was very bad, very painful. Then, but I think that can be very nice. I will try again.
It's wonderful if you get it like right after the snow when it's powder. The snow's like powder.
Yeah,
it's good, very good thing. When I was in Brazil, we trained. We stayed at Master Chinguina's mom's house.
Yeah,
which was 2 blocks away from the Gracie Barra Academy.
Yes.
And so every day I would go to the morning class and the night class, and I would just walk right, 2 blocks away, and I would be right there, training with some of the best guys in the world. And I stayed for 1 month, and so I would take notes and I would do my training every day. And I remember the night that I met you, me and Luis both met you. I was telling Archie earlier, I remember you took me and Luis in your car and you brought us to your academy. You had your own academy.
Yeah.
Where was that academy? Was it in the same town, Barra da Tijuca, or was it another town?
Yeah, it's in Barra da Tijuca, but it's kind of like 8 miles away, like 10 kilometers, more or less, like 7-8 miles away. It's like in that days, we took like probably 25 minutes driving. Now it's taking like 45 minutes because the traffic is bad, but it's right there. But now I just changed my academy in Brazil for 1 block from where you stayed before, like exactly over there, like in my mom's street, 1 block from Gracie Barra. But the Gracie Barra it's not there anymore. I think they just move away. And that neighborhood is very good, where Chinguinha and my mom lives. We grew up over there, and it's a very good and family neighborhood. And that is you know, no big academy over there. Then I just transferred my academy for that area. You know.
Yeah, that the neighborhood right there was beautiful. A beautiful neighborhood. The people were very friendly. There was lots of good food there, I remember, and it was safe.
Yeah,
That's one thing I remember. It seemed like a pretty safe place for me to be.
It is.
I remember Chingina's brother taking me. He also was kind of like my tour guide, and he didn't do jiu-jitsu. Chingina's brother, he was in a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
I remember he was a musician. He was a real fun kid. He was a lot different than Chingina, but he brought me to kind of around to the favela.
Which one, Marcos or Mike? Michael.
Michael. Yeah, Michael. He brought me around. He was a fun guy, though. I remember he brought me around, and he was quite a bit different than Chingina. So the Gracie Barra Academy, are they still in Brazil?
Yeah, they still have academy in Barra. They just changed the address. I think it's kind of 15 minutes from there. Just changing address because that gym where the Gracie Barra was, they closed the gym.
Oh yeah, there was a gym, a weightlifting gym.
Yeah, then Gracie Barra, you know, cannot stay in it. I think that's what I heard. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they left and they are like probably 15 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So when was the last time that you were over there?
Man, my last time in Brazil was September last year, September or October, September last year, I think, 2019, September. I always go there because my mom, I supposed to be there like 1 month ago, but this virus and everything, I didn't, you know, stay home. But as this everything like finish and Brazil getting better, I will go there to visit.
So your mom, is she still alive?
Yeah. My mom lives in the same street, like one block from Gracie Barra and 2 blocks from Chingina.
Let me tell you something, man. One of my close coaches, a wrestling coach here in the United States.
Yeah.
A very close friend of ours. He just passed away about 2 weeks ago. He was a very important guy in my life, and I remember him pulling me aside outside of my academy, and one thing he told me that always stuck with me. He told me like this. He said, "Tom, always love your mother while she's here." And you know, he was an older guy, and his mom had passed away, and I think he saw that I was a young man and I was kind of partying and all over the place, and he saw I was kind of wild. And it's something that always stuck with my head. So that's good that you go visit your mom, bro.
That's really I always have very good contact with her. I mean, this year, like she was here in January. She came for Christmas and she was here for 1 month with me. Yeah,
that's good. Everybody out there, remember that what I just said right there.
Yeah.
If your mom is alive still, even if your mom is gone, you still love her. But while she's alive, take advantage of it and love your mother while she's here. Same to go with your dad.
I feel the same way.
Yep, it's important.
Absolutely.
It's definitely important. So, bro, you have a daughter and a son, or more than that?
No, just 2. My daughter, she's in Canada. She's just turned 25 years old. And my son lives here with me. He teaches kids with me.
All right.
And he's 22. He's turning 23 next July.
How old was he when he started jiu-jitsu?
And he started very young. Like, I think his first steps was 4 or 5 years old, but he never took serious. He was very, like, his passion was soccer all his life.
Okay.
And about 13, he started doing some, because he always jiu-jitsu, he always doing stop, but not serious. Just, you know, playing. Then in 13, he started boxing a little bit. And as a 15, he started more jiu-jitsu. And the time we were in Abu Dhabi, he took more serious for the first year. He trained a lot because not much to do over there. You know, in Brazil, for teenagers in Brazil, it's tough. You know, a lot of party, a lot of, you know, things to do it.
Yeah.
And after Abu Dhabi, he took more serious. Now he's very involved. You know, he's at the academy every day with me. He teach the kids. He have he's very attention with the kids. You know, very patient. It's good.
Hey Tom, I have a question. I mean, for Gordo, you started jiu-jitsu back in the early days, and what was the training environment like, and who were your partners? And then also a second question, is that the same place where Tom, you went to go visit? So how was the environment, and who were your partners back in the day, Gordo?
When I first started, was a Gracie Barra, but just the name was different. The name was Club. It's a Grace Club. Club Grace. Club Grace is the name. It was in the same street as Chinguinha mom lived.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you remember, Tom, the place called Bibi Sucos is right there.
Yes.
And it's a house that is a match. And the Machado brother was the main coach, like Higan and Carlos Machado. They are the main coach. Jean-Jacques, Roger, John Machado, they were the instructors. And Renzo Grace too. And the master was Carlos Grace Jr. But the main coach in that time was the Machado brothers.
Hey, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, the Machado brothers, when I first met Machado, I went down to LA and I trained at Higan Machado's school.
Yeah.
And very nice people, very nice people. Yeah. What were you going to say, Archie?
No, I was going to give you the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Gordo, just real quick, is there a light in your room? Maybe you could turn up the light a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, I can try. Let me see.
Let's see if we can.
I have this one here.
As you guys can see, Gordo has been teaching out of his house right there since this coronavirus. He doesn't stop jiu-jitsu. He continues the jiu-jitsu he's been doing. There you go.
Better?
What do you think, Archie? That work?
Yeah, that helps. Heck yeah.
Okay.
I can do closer. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, how about that famous half guard?
We're going to go over it right now, my brother. So, guys, there we go. Perfect, perfect. And if not, it's all good. So, guys, some of the people that watch this show, it's an MMA show, but lately, we talk a lot about MMA, mixed martial arts, which involves boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, the whole 9 yards. But many of the people that watch the show are jiu-jitsu practitioners. And if you know anything about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you know what the guard is. It's a position when you're on your back and you have your legs around your opponent crossed. Now, if you don't know what the guard is and you don't understand what we're talking about, that's okay. Take the time, go on YouTube, go on the internet, and just type in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guard or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu half guard, and you can see what we're talking about. But for us guys that train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any type of Jiu-Jitsu, the guard and the half guard are very important positions when you're on your back. If somebody takes you down to the ground and you're on your back, instead of just being there on your back, laying there, we want to get our legs around the person in our guard or our half guard. There's many different types of guard. But what our friend Gordo here is famous for, and he made very famous, is the position called the half guard. Now, this position is very, very important in jiu-jitsu. The half guard, if you don't have a half guard, I mean, it can cause a lot of problems in your jiu-jitsu game. So, Gordo, I don't know who you learned the half guard from or how this came about, but can you please talk a little bit about the half guard? Who showed you the half guard, and how did you start to develop the half guard? Because when I trained with you, you showed me one thing that I will always remember, and it was from a basic triangle hold with the leg half guard. But the important thing that I remember you showing me is the moment that you go from half guard to full guard, because there's a moment there when you open your legs that the guy can pass your guard if you don't do the right things with your legs. and the control of the leg. And it's a move that I still use today. It's in my notebooks. Me and Archie are going to go over it tomorrow, in fact. Talk about the half guard a little bit.
Yeah, basically, let's say in the beginning of 80s, when I just started as a white and blue belt, half guard is already exists, of course, but it was just a transition between guard and side control. You know, when the guy on top comes to the half guard, he probably will pass your guard. In the half guard, in that days, we used to have like two things to do. One thing is just hold and control, and the second thing is trying to replace the guard. That's what usually people trying to do, replace the guard. Then what's happened, I was a purple belt and I got a big, like very bad injury in my knee. You know, I tore my ACL. And, you know, back in the days that the medicine is not that advanced, I didn't feel good to surgery in that time. I was thinking that I was young, like 19, and I can't training, and I back to the mat always. I have pain in my knee, and for a while I couldn't turn my knee well. You know, at my knee, especially my left knee, I couldn't like turning. Then what I started doing, let my left leg bottom leg in the ground, and used to work with just one leg, just working with my right leg. That's why people start coming to my half guard. So, you know, they always end in my half guard. In the beginning, I just was like defending myself, you know, but I start feeling that I need to, you know, I cannot just defend myself forever. Then I need to try to sweep, or then I feel like one of the first things that changed in my game is when I realized that the underhook and turn to the back. That's the click that make me, you know, more offensive. That one, when I have this underhook and turn to the back, make my half guard like 100% more offensive. Then that's why people recognize me as a creator of the half guard. But I never thought in create anything. It just was like it came from an injury, and I was trying to survive. That's it. You know.
What year was that, and how many years have you, you know, I guess, well, so what year did you start doing the half guard, and have you seen it evolve, change? What about the half guard have you seen since you first started, you know?
It's evolved a lot. I started doing like I told, as a purple belt, probably 19 years old.
Okay.
And of course, as any new thing coming up in jiu-jitsu, you know, always evolve a lot, because when you first start doing, it's kind of easy to do, but people start defending, and from the defense you can you know, do another thing, and another defense, another attack, another defense, another attack. That's how the things start like evolving, you know. And of course, you can see like the game that I was doing as a, let's say, 20 years old as a brown belt is completely different than the game that I do now. Then just to see that how much it's evolved. And of course, a lot of people have been doing half guard and have like different game. Some of my students, like Celso, this one in the video with me, Celso Vinicius, he's a 6-time world champion, 3 times as a black belt, and he have his own game in the half guard, completely different than my game. He does more.
Oh.
He does more like deep half guard, you know, like Crispin. Crispin, he lives in California too. Crispin's very good in deep half guard. You know, back in the days, like I teach the main jiu-jitsu for these 2 kids, but they create their own game, you know. I think that's how it's supposed to be, you know. When I mean, I can be good in half guard, but I'm not teaching just half guard. I'm trying to teach, you know, everything. Then my students, they can build their own game.
So you have a foundation, fundamentals of the half guard, and then everything just varies from there.
Yes, I mean, just for you to understand, let's say in my curriculum, in my academy, in my curriculum, for the fundamental class, I have just two position in the half guard in the bottom, just two, one class. Going to the back and he plays the guard. That's it for the fundamentals. And two ways to pass in the guard. Then the other stuff you're gonna learn in the advanced class, you know. I cannot like just think in a half guard because I'm doing half guard, you know. You have like I mean in my fundamentals curriculum, I have 28 class in the fundamental. This video is very old. This is from 2000.
Right.
You know, and from, let's say, from 28 class, I can tell you that I have one class in the bottom half guard and one class on top. That's it. And the other class are like all like different stuff, you know, mounting, taking the back, hook sweep, scissor sweep, spider.
You have CDs for sale. Do you have a volume? Looks like if you recorded some technique, yeah?
These ones that they show now, it was a VHS that we did like in 2000s.
Oh, wow.
And I think Gerson, he's my partner in this video, this guy. I think he transferred as a DVD, but this is kind of, I'm not sure if he's still selling, but probably he is. But I just make it to all my series from half guard and bottom and top. I just made for Galler app at Renzo Gracie Academy Online. Galler app with 2 L's and 2 R's. And I think they are for free now. Because the guy from Galler and Renzo Gracie Academy Online, he put everything, all his videos for free right now.
Oh, wow.
It's a good time to check and learn a lot of good stuffs.
So Gordo, when you talk about the two different main types of guard, for people that don't understand, what does it mean to be in a deep half guard?
Yeah, half guard is, I think we call half guard any position that we control just one leg. You know, instead we control the hip or the body, we control one leg between your legs, and the person on top had his other leg outside. And deep half guard is when you're trying to go deep under. You know, I don't know how to explain perfect, but
like when you go underhook on the arm.
No, when you underhook, like when you go under the leg.
Oh, okay.
You know, my game is more underhook and go into the back.
Oh, okay.
Go more under the leg and try to swim under or this is, but I do this game too, but it's not like my favorite.
What are some of your favorite submissions, Gordo? I know you use the half guard a lot, but what are like some of your favorite submissions?
One of my favorite submissions is a back choke. You know, choke from the back like lapel. Of course, no gi. It's a rear naked choke, mata-leão, but the lapel choke from the back and kimura. The reason why I love kimura, it's because it's very effective in any level, you know, and you can apply no gi too. Also, I think no gi it's easier to apply kimura.
Oh, wow.
I love the kimura. Kimura is also one of my favorite techniques.
Especially the one I love and I do more is the kimura north-south on top. But of course, in the guard's good too. But the one come from the north-south, I love it.
Oh, okay. From the north and south on top?
Yeah.
Ah. Archie, what about you? What do you think about the half guard? You find yourself there a lot?
I do, and I actually find myself going to a deep half because I like to get underneath the leg, and then from there I just roll and find something, and after you roll, pop your head out and see where your head, you know, pop it up and get out. Right? I like the deep half.
Also, it's a good position for if you're good in wrestling.
Right.
And as you get in the bottom, it's kind of easy to get up in the single leg or something. As you get a single as a half guard or deep half guard, you can get up in the single leg and put your opponent down, you know,
and get on top.
Yeah.
So, Gordo, how many years did it take you to get to receive your black belt? And who did you receive your black belt from?
I received my black belt from Carlos Grace Jr. in Gracie
Ah,
Barra. I did all my career in Gracie Barra. And I received my black belt in January 1993. Then I start around 80, I think end of 85, let's say beginning of 80, end of 85, then 86, 7, 8, 9, 80, about 7 years.
nice. Now, one time I trained down at the John Jack Machado school.
Yeah.
And John Jack Machado, he also liked the half guard quite a bit. He taught.
He was my main. John Jack was my main coach. Since I start, because when I start, he was one of the instructors, and his brother was the main coach. But as Carlos Machado left to America, Jean Jacques took me out, and I trained under Jean Jacques since white belt to brown belt. Jean Jacques left to Brazil in 1991. Then 1 year later, I got my black belt.
Okay. So the Machado brothers, did they grow up around you in the same neighborhood?
No, they grow up in Teresópolis and in Flamengo. It's kind of like 1 hour from Barra. But I met them in the academy, and because they are cousin of Renzo and Ralph and Ryan, and I always with Ralph, Renzo, and Ryan. Then when we go to Teresópolis, is a place in mountains, and the Machados, they have a house over there. And in the weekends or sometimes in the holidays, we go to the mountains, and we always meet them there. Like before I train, I know them before I train jiu-jitsu, but not like they are a little bit like 3-4 years older than me. Then I'm more like close to Ralph and Renzo and Ryan.
Hey Tom, I have a question. Gordo, it sounds like if you just left Brazil, like you went to United Emirates in 2017. You've been in Florida for the last 3 years, so there's been a lot of Brazilians that have come at an early age. It seemed like if you took a little while to come to the United States to settle, you're in, or I'm not sure if you're settling, but you're in Florida right now. And I understand, it's your home country is your home country, and but what made you leave your home country, and tell us a little bit about that situation.
The main thing is like I love Brazil, and the place, man, like Tom said, Barra, where I grew up, like that the area is amazing. That's a good surf, good beach. My mom, my family, all my friends. My academy is very good over there, like a successful academy. I don't have any, like, let's say, money issue. I have a great life. I pay for my daughter's school in Canada, like my daughter college and university. I pay everything. But in the last, let's say Brazil is kind of not that much safe. But when you live there, you don't feel like that. Because I know everyone. Then I know where I can go, what time I can go. Then I feel always safe. But it's kind of getting worse, And I realized that not just because of me, but because of my kids. When my kids start growing up as a teenager in Brazil, they go out a lot, They go with friends, they go out. And this is start to getting me like a little bit upset, like always worry about my son and my daughter, and my wife start put some pressure, like to live in a safe place. Then we are not feeling that Brazil is that safe anymore. Then I'm start thinking about in moving. Also, and I have a lot of friends in America, and it's a good place. The place that I like it. I like the culture, And I feel like America is a great place to live and to live with your family, especially. Probably, let's say, if I'm by myself, if I have no kids and no wife, probably still in Brazil, because I'm like by yourself, it's kind of easy to survive or to
Yeah.
But with family, we always look for safety, especially I think I'm getting a little bit older. And that's the main reason, safety.
Beautiful. How old are you, bro? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 49.
You don't look that old, man.
Nah.
You're still competing, right? Gordo, you still compete?
Not really. I did one competition last year just for fun. But the main reason that I not compete that much, it's because I don't like 5 minutes max. For me, don't make me excited, to do a 5 minutes match. I like to do more. Then the last tournament I compete was I jumped in the adults division. It was 10 minutes. But unfortunately I broke my rib. I did the fight, but I lost for advantage. But as in the beginning of the fight, I broke my rib. I think that's why I realized that I'm a little bit old to to go in the adults. But in the same time, I feel that I just feel 5 minutes is not enough to to play. But it's okay. I'm probably gonna do some masters.
Now there is a competition. Me and Archie watched some of your competitions, and there's one that sticks in my mind. I think it was a very important match for you. It was you, I believe, against Henner Gracie.
Yeah, this was my last. I can say this was my last high level competition. This was in 2003, if I'm not wrong, in the Panams in Santa Barbara, and I was 32, 33 years old, and I mean I won. I won this division. It's a heavyweight division, or probably it's absolute, but I think it was a heavyweight. And I feel after that my knee get it, because the first knee that I have problem was my left knee, but after this fight I start getting a lot of knee problems in my right knee. Then I stopped competing for a while. Then I did my surgery 4 years after that fight. Then after the surgery, I feel 100%. I feel my knee is very strong now.
So was there an age difference between you guys, and do you feel a strength difference also?
Man, it's a lot. I'm 30. I'm not old, 33. I don't feel old, but Henner, I think he was 20, something like that. He's very young.
Oh.
He's a kid.
What about the strength difference?
He just got his black belt. And the strength, I cannot say difference. I don't feel he's tall. We are in the same weight, but I think the explosion when you are young is a kind of different, And I'm not the guy who I never did too many conditioning, strength conditioning. Just play jiu-jitsu, train jiu-jitsu. Then my conditioner, it's okay, but I'm not an explosive guy, And I got stuck in that triangle for almost 6 minutes.
That was amazing.
It was hard.
Go ahead, Tom.
I can say that my strength, it's more, let's say, I'm good for a marathon, I can play my game for 30, 40 minutes, but I'm not good in the first 3, 4 minutes, That's how I feel my body.
Now Henner has a killer triangle. Everybody knows this. He has one of the best triangles in the game, and especially he has the long legs and the body for a triangle.
Long and flexible. It's hard.
Yeah.
I escaped from triangle very well. And
what was the key there? What was the key to not getting tapped out by Henner's triangle?
Yeah. I mean, I have many different ways to escape, but I tried the first one. I tried to stuck him, but he's flexible and his legs it doesn't work. Then I start turning. I have a way that I bring the knee down and I turn my head inside. Then it's kind of release the pressure a little bit. And you see that when I bring the knee down, then I change the angle. Then I don't feel the pressure. I also need to defend my arm, because when I change the angle, he tried to get my arm. But I mean, I used to have successful in this position, but it's hard. It's not easy, I remember that my neck was tied for a while after that fight.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Are you and Henner friends?
I cannot say friends. I met him, I mean, because he grew up in America, in California. Then I remember that probably 3 or 4 months before that fight, I met him in Brazil. His daddy bringing him to Gracie Barra to train with us. And we training. I trained with him and with his brother. I'm not cannot say friend, but I respect. We know each other, but I didn't met him that many times after that. Just 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Is his dad Horion, Gracie?
Horion was there, yeah. Horion, Henner, and Hiron, I think, was there too.
As his coaches cornering him?
Yeah. It was. I feel that they thought that okay, we're going there, we're gonna win the Panam, and I just and kind of, because he's not the guy who compete that much. This is just the start. He competed that, and I think he stopped because he don't like the rules, blah blah blah, these stuffs. But he beat in the semi. This was the final. He beat Fabio Leopoldo in the semifinal, and Fabio Leopoldo was a world champion. It was, and he tapped Fabio Leopoldo in triangle. That was man, this kid got better,
Oh yeah. They're really cool kids, man. They're great.
Yeah,
I like what they
always very polite. They look like I have a lot of big friends in Grace family. From there, I'm more friend of Hoyler and let's say Hickson. But as I say, they grew up here in America. I'm not really have contact with them.
Yeah. Did you ever get a train with? I'm sure you did. With Hickson Gracie or Hoist Gracie?
Not Hoist. Hoist, I never trained with him. I trained with Hickson. I saw him train a bunch of times, but I trained with him one time.
What was it like working with Hickson Gracie?
He just smashed us. We was 12. I can say kids, not kids, but I'm just getting my black belt. I was 24, something like that. And we are me, Márcio Feitosa, Tinguinha, Rony Rusco, Renzo, and he came and he just smashed us for 2 hours. He didn't stop for 2 hours killing us. It was great.
Wow.
Good experience. And Tom, like I told you, I'm running a little bit out of the time,
It's no problem, my brother.
Yeah, I will start I have an appointment in 7 minutes.
Okay. If I can take 30 seconds of the next time, I just want to say, Gordo, I appreciate you coming on the podcast with us. You have a big history here in Central California, along with Half Gracie, who do we have? Batata.
Yeah.
You have a connection with us here, starting with Tom. We need to thank Tom Owens for bringing the Brazil connection here to the Central Valley. And you're a big part, believe it or not. I mean, I know you believe it. You're a big part.
I love California, always there. And, traveling around California, North California, South California, Central California. It's a great place, and it's good to see since the beginning, how I remember that I went to, I'm not sure if it was Fresno or something place close for a seminar 15 years ago.
Nice.
And it now I'm sure that Jiu-Jitsu it's bigger and bigger. Then it's nice to see, since my first time in California was 1995. It's nice to see how it's growing,
Gordo, before you go, man, maybe we can get you on the show again sometime.
Yeah, sure, anytime. I'm just, like I told you, I'm changing my address. I'm changing my academy now, and I will be very busy this week and next week because Florida already start, the academies.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
But after that, man, anytime.
Hey, so Man, I just want to tell you again, you made my trip to Brazil even better. It was one of my favorite experiences in my life. And I want to thank you for the way that you treated me and Luis Gonzalez. Luis also is very thankful for you. Yep. And man, I just really thank you for coming on the show and taking the time. I wish you the best in Florida. I hope everything is good for you and your family. And maybe when you come to California, we'll get a meet with you personally. Tomorrow, I'm going to videotape with Archie a technique that I have in my notes that I learned from you. And I want to show this to you, and maybe you can give me some breakdown on it. So next time, I'm going to keep in touch with you, brother. I'm going to keep in touch with you. And the next show, I'll get you and Batata and Chinguina on all together.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it'll be a reunion, man. It'll be a reunion. And so everybody out there.
Yeah, just let you guys know, I already talked to Batata. After that thing, Batata promised to all his students, as a seminar in his academy, then you guys welcome to come there too,
Oh my gosh.
Man.
A seminar for all his students who support him and his academy, for these COVID stuffs. And I'm going there.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. You guys are like brothers to us now. You've been on the show, and we can't thank you enough. We'll let you go now, Gordo. Guys that are out there, don't skip what I'm saying. Go on YouTube, go on the internet, and look up this guy, and look and see, man, because I don't care what you're doing in jiu-jitsu today. All of these moves are beneficial. You might think, oh, it's real basic. It's old school. Trust me. You add it to your game, it will help your game. It's tremendous. And it's a part of Brazilian jiu-jitsu history. This guy right here is a part of the history of jiu-jitsu. And man, I just can't thank you enough. I'm going to let you go, brother. We're going to stay live.
Thank you.
But you have a great day, my brother. I'll talk to you next time.
You too. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Right.
We'll see you. Thank you.
Take care.
Man, guys.
Wow.
Guys, you don't know how happy I am, man, with these last few shows. My life has been real hectic lately. Those of you, I'm not going to get into it, but those who know me, hey, man, be thankful for your life if you're healthy and you're out there and things are going good. Anything could change. Family health, your self-health. Things can happen anytime, man. You just never know. So take advantage of these things. The podcast is new. If you're watching this show and you watch it today, do me and Archie a favor. Hit the like button and share it and get this out, because we don't ever know, man, with these guys, how long they're going to be here. We just don't know. The earth that we're living in, the realm we're living in, times are changing, man. Times are getting crazy right now. The world is crazy right now. And, hey, you might think, oh, it's a joke, whatever, the virus this, the virus that, whatever, right? There's a lot of crap going on right now. There's a lot of bull crap going on right now, and I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. And, man, today just getting to talk with a guy like that, me and Archie, you have no idea. Hey, when I was in Brazil, man, when me and Luis Gonzalez, we went to Brazil, and we're in here training with these guys, these black belts, and this guy comes walking in. I had no idea who the guy was. I had no idea never had heard of him, never had heard of this guy. And he pulls me and Luis off to the side, and, man, he just rolled. I got to roll with him. Luis rolled with him. And then the guy was nice enough after class to take us in his car, some little bucket. It wasn't some fancy car. This is Brazil, guys. This is Brazil. It's pretty rough. He says the neighborhood is nice. Hey, he gets us in this car, drives us off to this neighborhood, and next thing you know, we're up in this small little academy that's the size. It's nothing. Believe me, whatever school you're in now, this is a quarter of the size. And up until this point, I had been lucky enough, like when you go to Brazil, so you don't get hurt, like Carlos Gracie Jr., he would match us up with these black belts. And I think the reason now when I look back at it is that the black belts, they won't hurt you. You know what I mean? They're super relaxed and they flow. They don't use any muscle at all. And I learned a lot from that, from like Master Feitosa, Gordo, Pere Pano, and these different guys. There's no muscle being used. And I believe that is what jiu-jitsu is supposed to be. And sometimes when I roll with like good high-level guys now, there's a lot of muscle and a lot of struggle going on. They'll still tap you out. They're tapping you out, but there's muscle behind it. Jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it, isn't about muscle. It's about leverage and technique. There it is right there, Gordo Jiu-Jitsu. I could talk all day about it, guys. I could talk all day about it. I'm super thankful that the guy came on the show. And man, all I was going to say is when he brought us to his school, it was the first time that I rolled with a blue belt from Brazil there. And it was a whole different thing. It was one of Gordo's students. And this was right before I competed in the Worlds. Now, I didn't win my match.
The blue belt guy? Who do you think it was?
I think it was Rafael dos Anjos. I think it was. It's one of he's a UFC fighter. I'm probably saying the name wrong. He's one of the high-level UFC fighters, but he's one of Gordo's students. And man, he was aggressive. This kid wrapped me and Luis both up. And I mean, over and over, this kid he was aggressive. And he just tapped me out one time over. He didn't hurt me. He was right there in front of his teacher, but he was aggressive. It was something different. I hadn't felt that in Brazil yet. Like I said, I was rolling with all these black belts. Like Feitosa was one of the main guys. Master Feitosa was one of the main guys I was training with over there and rolling with. And like I said, it was like effortless to the guy. It was like rolling with water. Like Bruce Lee says, be like water. That's what this guy was. It was nothing but technique. It was so smooth, man. It was like rolling with wind. It was just, you didn't feel any muscle or anything. The guy was tapping you out left and right. But try rolling like that.
Once you flow like water and you're starting to wrestle at that point, or do jiu-jitsu, or just flowing in general, you know that you found your piece.
Yeah, when you can tap out guys with effortlessly and it's all technique. Now I'm not saying you shouldn't use muscle or whatever in jiu-jitsu, but try doing it, because guys that are like that, if they do need to put the muscle in, it's there, then it's a different level. Okay, so guys, this is episode 84 of the Hammer Fist podcast. We haven't given up. I didn't think this was going to go this long. You know what I mean, Archie? Yeah. I've gotten into a lot of things in my life where I get gun-ho about it. And I'll be honest, many things in my life, man, I've done. MMA and just skateboarding, all kinds of stuff, snowboarding, just many different things. I'll get real heavy into it, and I didn't stick with it. I didn't think I'd make it to episode 84. And me and Archie haven't given up, man. And God bless Chris Ronquillo. He's one of the guys that got me into it. I want to thank our other guys, Xavier Ortega, John Carlton, James Gillian. I'm probably saying your name wrong. They're part of our crew. They're part of the MMA Fight Pass. And everybody out there, man, like all of our local jiu-jitsu guys, too many to name, that have let me and Archie go in. You know what I mean? Going to the school.
You know what? I'm looking forward to that last request that you made here with Gordo, Batata, and Chinguina. Can you imagine that, having them three?
Oh, bro. And one of these times we're going to get these guys to get Half Gracie on. He's a busy guy. He's hard to get on. But guess what? I'm going to have Scotty Nelson and Gumby. They're the guys, the owners of OnTheMat.com. Now, there's different things. A lot of you guys probably don't know what On The Mat is. These two guys, they're students of the Camarillo brothers and Half Gracie, but they're one of the first ones to get a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of a website company going back in the day. But they have been around all these guys and they've trained with all these guys. They have a ton of knowledge. Scotty Nelson, I just talked to him. Can't wait, man. I can't wait, brother, to get you on the show. And we're going to have these different guys coming on the show real soon.
We're going to get our local UFC fighters, Marion Renault and Alex Correa. They're going to come up June 20th, pretty soon here.
Yes, sirree. And Michael from L'Amour Elite.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to get Michael on here. I know Michael. I like Michael a lot, man. Mike Martinez from L'Amour Elite. We haven't had him on yet. He's probably wondering why. I got too many things in my.
Michael, you're next, Michael.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get Mike on next. I like what Mike stands for, and I just like Mike a lot. He was out there fighting side by side with me out there in Lemoore, California, in the WEC, and I like what Mike stands for. And guys, I want to talk a little bit. Just give me a minute to talk a little bit about the bullshit. Excuse my language, the bull crap that's going on in the world right now, and what I'm seeing locally. And this virus, how it led up to this wearing a mask, and then all of a sudden it's okay to go out there and loot and riot. No, it's not okay, guys. People are taking advantage of the situation. If you're one of those people, and I hope you're not, don't do that, man. Don't do that. I say it all the time. We got to love each other. And jiu-jitsu, one of the main concepts of jiu-jitsu, guys, that I learned in Japanese jiu-jitsu is to help one another. And that doesn't mean if you're doing jiu-jitsu, I'm not talking about on the mat. I'm talking about life in general. And there's people that watch this show that don't do jiu-jitsu. That's fine. You ought to get on the mat, though, man. It'll change your life. Get on the mat or start martial arts. But jiu-jitsu, there's something about it. It'll just change your life. It'll help you for the better. Don't freaking buy into this crap on the news that's going on. Be careful. Be aware of what's going on. Be aware of your surroundings. Right now, it's a dangerous time. You got a bunch of jackasses out there. When I see this crap going on with people going in these stores, hey, and I was a hoodlum when I was younger. I would have jumped right in this crap. And now I'm older and I'm mature. I see it and it looks so stupid and so immature, and I don't like what I'm seeing. Don't buy into it, man. Help one another. If you see someone getting beat up with 2x4s, I don't care who you are. You jump in there and you do something about it. You got to make a phone call, or you're going to jump in and help. You do what you got to do. When I see a husband or wife getting beat by 2x4s, it makes me sick in my stomach. And if I was right there, I wouldn't be able to stand back and watch it. And I got a lot of friends that would be right there with me. Guys, I could talk all day about it. It just sickens me in my stomach, man, when I see this crap. And I hope this whole virus thing goes away. They're coming out with vaccines. They're doing all this crap. Our government is. Be smart about what you do before you go and have some needle jabbed in your arm with some freaking vaccine. Just be smart about what you do, guys. Find your local jiu-jitsu gym. There's plenty of them out there. Contact me. Contact Archie. Guys, if you want, we're always looking for sponsors. We're trying to make this show grow. But what you can do, you can help us out. Share this video, man. Just share the video. Simple as that. Or you can check out one of our sponsors. And we're going to go through them real quick. Because Gentle Art CBD, guys, you want some CBD oil? Boom. Right there. It's a local place. CBD is good for all kinds of stuff. Rio Acai Bowls. You want to try some acai that'll knock your socks off, the real stuff. Rio Acai in Fresno. Yep, Fresno. It's on Bullard, right, Archie?
Van Ness.
Van Ness. I'm from Visalia, so I get these streets wrong. I got a lot on my mind right now, guys. A lot on my mind. Just happy that me and Archie got through another show, man. We made it through another hour.
We're doing.
We were looking forward to this, man. Hey, to get a guy like that on here, and a guy like Batata, Chingina, hey, and all the different we're gonna get back to the local guys too. But I have been so stoked, Archie, to be able to get these guys on here, man. This has been really something else, and I'm super happy, man. What do you got to say, my brother?
I'm thinking it's just amazing how the tie the Central Valley has to some really, really big names in the industry, right? I mean, here with Gordo especially, and Gordo has all the ties to the Gracies. Crossley Gracie has a tie with Gordo. Crossley Gracie has a tie with Half Gracie, which has a tie with Gordo. Batata has a tie with Half Gracie, and Crossley Gracie, which has a tie with Gordo, which is a tie with Tom Owens. Isn't that amazing? We're going to build up.
It's amazing. Hey, and not just Tom Owens, me, but a lot of these guys here in Visalia.
Mark and all the Valley guys, a lot of Valley guys. Go ahead.
Dude, a lot of our Valley guys, man. Matt Smith, Ted Stobie, rest in peace. God bless you. Michael Martinez, Tom Knox, Camarillo brothers. They have ties with Half Gracie. It keeps going and going and going. But it's really something that our Valley has these ties, and how jiu-jitsu has grown in the Valley. And man, tomorrow morning, like, I'm not tied into any school. I'm not locked into any school. I can go train with anybody. But tomorrow morning, me and Archie, we're going to go to a Elite team here in Visalia. We're going to get an early morning class at Elite at Tom Knox's gym and train with Felix. He's one of the instructors. Yeah, I'm going to get to learn something new. And maybe next week I'll go train with Mark Dela Cruz. And maybe next week we'll take a trip to Fresno. Tosh Cook under Hoist Gracie. I love it, man. Doing this podcast has opened up all kinds of doors. We just got invited to a seminar with Batata and Gordo together in the same room.
In Santa Cruz.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. So, hey, to everybody in my family, we never know what the next step is, but I hope everybody can love one another. My life is freaking hectic right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is later down the road, my younger family, they'll be able to look back, and see who their uncle was and what I was involved with. And this is one of my loves in life, guys. If you're looking back and you're seeing who Tom Owens was, your uncle was, just remember this was one of the things I love, and one of the things I preach and that I practice is that you help one another. You don't hate one another, and you definitely don't go breaking into buildings and doing this and doing that. Stay off drugs, stay off alcohol, get into something positive, go to school, love your parents while they're here. Rest in peace, Phil Sullivan. a close friend of mine that just passed away. We're going to be having a gathering for Phil Sullivan here real soon. I can talk about that guy. You know, I can talk about him all week. But rest in peace to Phil. He played a big part of my life. And like I said earlier, love your mother while she's here. Love your parents while they're here. Love everybody around you while they're here. Okay, because we just never know what the next thing is going to happen, especially in a crazy world right now, Archie.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen, man. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts, and people are acting like animals, man. I don't like to see that. So everybody out there that knows me, thank you. If you guys want to help us out and you want to sponsor us, we're not, dude, anything, man. We're not asking for much. All we're trying to do is grow the show. We're doing most of this stuff for free, pretty much all of it for free. We're not making money off it or nothing like that. We're just sharing stories.
A sponsor opportunity would be when we go like to Patata and go to Gordo's in Santa Cruz. We would like to get a sponsor for that trip, the pay for gas, pay for hotel, so things like that. And then your name would be splashed all over that.
Your name will be all over it, guys, and we'll put it on shirts and we'll do all kinds of stuff. And we're doing a lot. We're getting ready to make a documentary, and that documentary is going to be important for the history of jiu-jitsu, not just the history here in the Central Valley, Archie, but the general history of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and some of these guys that started in Brazil and came to America and how they got it going. And all these guys, like we said earlier, they all play a part in each other. So the documentary is going to be great. It's not only, we do a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, guys, but MMA is what we love. You know, it's our company is called MMAFightPass.com, and we're getting UFC fighters. We had Chuck Liddell's coach, John Hackelman. That show, guys, if you watch that show, he gave me some of you people that are watching the show, I know a couple people have hit me up already. I got to talk about it for a second. He asked us before the show started, hey, is this R-rated? Is it G-rated? Is it PJ-13? And I told him, hey, you do what you want. And he came out, and it was, you know, there's some cussing and there's things like that. It's pretty rough. So I apologize, guys, if you think badly of us because of that. For the most part, me and Archie, it's a PG-13 show. We want kids and adults and everybody to enjoy this show. Okay, so
it can get out of hand.
What else, my brother?
No, that's amazing. This is great, Tom. We're just looking forward to the next show. Looking forward to next week and the future. The gyms are opening up, so we're going to be there tomorrow morning for our jiu-jitsu workout at Elite by Celia. And then more gyms are opening up throughout California, especially Florida. We just heard Gordo, his gym, he's moving to a new place. So we're just looking forward to the future here, Tom, and to getting some chokes.
Yeah, getting some chokes into some arm locks, bro. Hey, and Gordo, man, I know, Gordo, you're going to come back and you're going to watch this video later. I know you haven't been on many podcasts, but, bro, you're a busy guy, man, and I really thank you for taking the time to come on the show. And Batata and Chingina, I know you guys are going to watch this too. You guys are family, man, and you guys played an important part. So we're going to get that podcast set up real soon. I'm going to get all three of those guys on. Luis Gonzalez, I know you're watching these shows, bro. Maybe you're embarrassed or a little shy to get on the camera. Hey, I'm always am. When we start this show every time, I'm nervous, but me and Archie are both getting a little bit better about it each time. But I love this stuff, man. I really do, Archie. I love it. And I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I just can't wait. So everybody out there, I love you. And remember, we're going to sign out. All the negativity in the world, make something positive out of it. That's all I got to say. So thank you to our sponsors. And thank you, Archie, again. I'll see you, Archie, in the morning. You pick me up?
Yeah, tomorrow morning I'm there. We're going to get that. We're going to get our choke.
We're going to get our choke on. If you want some coffee, I'll have coffee made. And about 5:15 or so, I'll see you, Archie.
You got it, brother.
Everybody else out there, thank you. Pass this show on for us, please. And keep in contact on Facebook. It's one of the main social sites that I use. I'm going to start using them all. Hey, and if anybody out there, I'm dragging on, if you can help me more with the technology part, I want to learn how to get this out to more people. I know I'm not doing the right things. I don't know much about it. I want to learn how to get this show out to as many people as possible, to get as many views as we can get, to get the history of BJJ and MMA out there. So you can always private message me on Facebook Messenger, or you can hit us up. You can hit Archie up. But easy for me to get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger, Tom Owens. And yes, we're going to sign out now. Archie, thanks again. Chris Ronquillo, we love you. Everybody else, we love you. And we will see you on Thursday at 2 p.m. California time.
All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you, my brother.